Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to the Teens Leading Change Cycle 6 Showcase. Thank you so much for being in community with us today on the last day of National Poetry Month, the 50th anniversary of the fall of Saigon, and on the eve of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So just a few showcase guidelines. You can go ahead and keep your camera on if you want, but we just ask that you keep your microphone off unless you're presenting. Please use your real first and last name. And if you're presenting on behalf of a library, feel free to add that, but you don't have to. We just ask that you keep your chat positive and on topic, but feel free to add your questions because we'll have a Q&A session at the end. And as you have probably noted, this meeting is going to be recorded. So I'm Candice Wing-yee Mack, the Managing Librarian of System-Wide Teen Services for the Los Angeles Public Library, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm thrilled to be the founder and project director of the Teens Leading Change Civic Engagement Initiative at the Los Angeles Public Library with support and also of course, facilitation by members of the Library Foundation of Los Angeles, and of course, your project facilitators, the wonderful YA librarians at your branches. So I'm zooming in from the ancestral and unceded territories of the Tongva, Chumash, Fernandino, Tataviam, and Kizh that is now occupied by Los Angeles. We recognize and acknowledge the first people of these lands, honor their elders, past and present, and the descendants who are citizens of these nations. We recognize that these tribes are still here and are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. For more information on which territory you may reside on, check out https://native-land.ca, and I will put that address if you want to look that up later in the chat. So the goal of the Teens Leading Change initiative is to empower, support, and amplify youth voices in relation to current events and community issues. And I think this cycle, like so many before it, has totally exemplified and met those goals. We are so proud that we are currently on our 6th cycle of hosting Teens Leading Change, and we can't wait to hear from all of you visionary leaders. So, but first, I wanted to share a few words from our city librarian, John Szabo, and I'm going to stop sharing and switch to sharing something else. So let's. Thank you all for being here. We're super excited to be here with you today. Okay, so. Can you all see the video? I just want to double check. Okay, here we go.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John Szabo, City Librarian, and I would like to thank all of you for your hard work leading up to this Teens Leading Change showcase. We at the library are so proud of your commitment to your local communities and the creative, innovative ways you've found to tackle problems and address the needs of Angelenos. As you know, Teens Leading Change provides a way for teens in grades 9 to 12 to make a difference in your community with the library. When you joined your local library's Teen Council, you took the additional step of signing on with Teens Leading Change to develop and participate in a civic action project. And those projects can make such a difference. Already we have seen so many positive changes. Just how many projects are we talking about? Well, over the past 4.5 years, since the fall of 2017, Los Angeles Public Library has hosted 39 Teens Leading Change projects in conjunction with 50 different libraries, engaging 550 teen participants. That is absolutely amazing, and we are so proud of each and every one of you for devoting your talents, your creativity, and your hard work in service of others. Today's showcase will feature projects that have tackled many challenges: food insecurity, environmental racism, neighborhood beautification, reading engagement for children with learning disabilities, financial literacy, the housing crisis, and the school-to-prison pipeline. That's an amazing list. And in addition to what you learned with the project you undertook as a participant in the Teens Leading Change initiative, you also received volunteer credit and community service hours. You developed leadership skills and perhaps gained new knowledge about our library, local government, and democracy in action. I know that many of you volunteer for the library in other ways as well, and thank you very much for that. The Los Angeles Public Library has 1,270 teen volunteers, and we appreciate and value your support. Thank you so much for that. So on behalf of all the people you help and whose lives you have touched, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for helping change our communities for the better. And the library is also here to help you. And I want you to know that. We're here for you. Remember that you can find assistance on school projects at any of our 73 locations. And you can access library resources online 24/7. You can even make an appointment for free one-on-one online tutoring. But everybody needs time to relax. And your library card is your source for streaming music, browsing comic books, checking out movies, or finding something new to read among our millions and millions of books. Basically, our message is that we're here for you. In conclusion, I'd like to thank the Library Foundation of Los Angeles, the Zagar Family Foundation, the W.M. Keck Foundation, and the Lenore S. and Bernard A. Greenberg Fund for funding the Teens Leading Change initiative. I look forward to this program growing in the future, and especially to the innovative projects to come. Again, thank you for your contributions to our libraries and for all that you have done and will do for our City of Angels. Thank you.
Yay! Those are really kind of words and from our city librarian. And now we get to hear from all of our awesome teen presenters. So next up, we have our Palisades project presentation. Woo! Featuring Fiona Herzog, Elsa O'Donnell, and Sophie Zhu. They're going to be sharing about how to combat environmental racism. So take it away, Fiona, Elsa, and Sophie.
Hello, thank you so much for having me, and this is our project. And you guys can all see that okay? Okay, swell. Here's our project on environmental racism, and we're the Palisades Teen Council, Teens Leading Change, branch for this project. My name is Fiona Herzog, and our other presenters include...
Hi, I'm Elsa.
I'm Sophie.
And we're all juniors at Palisades Charter High School. To first start off, we decided to do this project because we observed that air pollution remains a common occurrence in many communities where Black, Indigenous, and BIPOC people live, work, go to school. These communities are exposed to environmental hazards and have a harder time gaining a platform where their voices and concerns can be heard, further trapping them into a lifestyle that forces them to live and deal with the issues of air pollution. Due to this, many of these people have higher risks for lung disease, asthma, and cancer.
We chose this project to explore the connection between racism and environmental activism. Through this exploration, we put together a toolkit to help alleviate the inequities exacerbated by climate change. Our toolkit provides resources about reaching out to your local government, understanding government agencies, helpful environmental organizations, and a community checklist. We then spread these resources and knowledge by hosting a booth at a farmer's market and at Palisades Charter High School. After learning about racism in the environment and being shocked at how unknown it is in many areas of the Los Angeles community, our group decided to prioritize the issues of environmentalism and racism. We wanted to make a tangible difference in our city and realized that a way to do that was to tackle the intersection of these issues, environmental racism. We researched the topic and how it has affected LA communities and decided that the best way to make a difference was to give people the tools to be their own advocates. So we chose to create a toolkit.
Toolkit is structured around the goal of helping people vocalize their community issues to their local government to create change. Through a better understanding of their government, we hope to give people more confidence to reach out. Our toolkit, which is an online PDF, consists of 5 sections dedicated to providing resources, information on environmental organizations, and instructions on identifying problems within a community. It also provides a clear table of contents at the start of the toolkit for easy viewing. The first section of the toolkit is on reaching out to local government. We included this section because it is important to speak to local government to advocate for change within a community. We thought that people might not know to contact government officials otherwise, or take the time to figure out how to, so we provided a guide on contacting local government and drafting a request. It also includes representative databases and makes it easier for people to reach out.
So pictured above are 3 images from our toolkit. And as you can see, this section is broken down into further 3 parts to simplify the process and make it a lot less daunting for people to reach out. So in part 1, it discusses on how to find the correct representative or legislator through a link provided. And this part also includes the database includes the database. Part 2 talks about how to stand out and craft your message to your local representative. And in part 3, we stress the importance of being persistent and not giving up when trying to contact people. So the second section of our toolkit is on levels of government. And the different levels of government are very confusing with their many different terms. Therefore, we created this second section to help audiences know what each level is responsible for and how they are organized. This way, citizens know what to request for and from whom. One of the members of our group, Annalisa, made a database on who to contact based on your region. Contacting local government and understanding local government is important to climate change because it's through the pressure on government to provide equal services to everyone that at least some part of climate change can be alleviated.
Presented here are 2 images from our toolkit. We provided a summary on what county and city governments do. By doing this, we hope to show people what different governments can help them with. We also describe school governments in our toolkit with the goal of telling people who to approach if there is a specific environmental issue at a school. The third section of our toolkit provides our audience with a summary of 10 different environmental organizations, as well as their goals and actions. We also included each group's information for people to easily reach out to them. Shown here are some of the organizations included in our toolkit.
The first section helps readers who are doing their own research on environmental groups. It provides some questions for readers to ask in order to verify the group's success, and also introduces some ideas to help reader gauge the group's legitimacy. These questions are important to ask for multiple reasons. Finding previous events helps verify legitimacy. Knowing where their funding comes from helps tell the purpose of the organization. For example, an organization sponsored by a petroleum company most likely wouldn't have the environment as a priority.
So the 5th section of our toolkit is a checklist. And in this section, we made sure to emphasize the importance of government-run programs and whether they are up to par. For example, these programs can include trash pickup, parks, and range in waste removal. Our goal with the toolkit is that it would be able to provide the resources to alleviate any of the problems presented in this checklist. And as you can see with the sample question, the sample question provides one of the many questions that's on our checklist. So one of the events that we did to spread word about our project was a farmer's market. In this, we went out to the Mar Vista Farmer's Market to, again, spread word. Our goal was to inform people about the importance of being active in local government. Our booth was at the Green Tent, a booth with the mission dedicated to helping the environment, and they are there weekly spreading the message. At the farmers market, we handed out flyers with the checklist on it, along with library goodies to incentivize people. While it was hard at first to go up to people and talk to them, it began to get easier as time went on. In addition, we also got to collaborate and talk to booths next to us that were also interested in environmental justice. Overall, this was a very fun and educational experience. And presented here are some photos of us and some of the members of Teen Council who are presenting with us today.
Here are our flyer designs that we handed out to people. We also printed out a couple copies of our entire toolkit and distributed them. And here's another picture of us talking to people that approached our booth. Here's one of us stepping outside of the booth and advocating by approaching the people walking through the farmers market. And here's another picture of that. And then here shows a picture of our spinner, which mainly attracted children.
We also hosted a table at Palisades Charter High School during their lunchtime Earth Day festival. We wrote questions relating to environmental issues and justice and handed out prizes to those who spun the wheel. Our metal straws were the most popular. We also displayed our flyers and some printed out toolkits and described our project and other things that our teen council has done. And here are some photos of our table.
And that's it for our entire project. Thank you so much for listening. And if you would like to access the entire toolkit, you can take your phones and use like the camera feature to scan this QR code, and then you can flip through the entire toolkit. And our member Elsa also put the link in the chat if you just want to click it and see it on your computer right now. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fiona, Elsa, and Sophie. Great job! Woo! If anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll have our Q&A session after everyone presents. But great job and congratulations to your whole team. Thank you, Fiona, Elsa, and Sophie for presenting. Woo! Round of applause. All right, next up, we have the Angeles Mesa and Pico Union presentation featuring Lena Wynn. Feel free to share your slides, Lena. And y'all did a wonderful job.
Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? Well, I have the chat pulled up. Thank you so much. I'm going to present my project, which is the Financial Freedom Project. And before we begin, I just want to give some background information on how this project began. So it began around last year in March 2021, and it began with an idea. So I came up with the idea after seeing the problem in my community, in the Valley especially, because at my school we have a business program called the Global and Finance Program. And in that program, I was able to take a couple of literacy classes about finance, and I learned the basics of credit and debit, how to build credit, how to budget correctly. And I realized that, the other schools in the Valley do not have access to these types of resources and education. And I began to wonder that, because, we're all teens and we're about to become adults the next couple of years, that it is essential for all of us to have access to these resources and education in the community. So I went to Tatiana and we worked together to, establish a mission and pretty much a schedule for how we want to develop and share these resources with the other teens in my community through the workshops in the summer. And that was pretty much like the library aspect of the project. And for the community aspect of the project, because I wanted to expand this just beyond the library and for the other teens in the schools in the Valley as well. So I created a community-based aspect for the project in which I curated a team of over 26 teens from various schools in the Valley to partake in the different projects, which I will mention in just a couple of minutes. So the schools are not limited to Granada Hills Charter High School, in which I'm from, and we have Cleveland, we have Kennedy, we have Boss, Birmingham, and all the schools in the Valley. So it was pretty much just a team of teens from just the entire Valley, and we worked together to partake in this project. And for the mission statement, in which I worked with Tatiana to create, is pretty much the Financial Freedom Project is designed to provide teenagers and young adults with a free, reliable outlet to learn more about how to effectively manage their money. And some examples of our projects include the website, which we pretty much integrate resources and recordings of our workshops for easy accessibility for our audience. And I'm going to go through the website in just a couple minutes and just to show you like some of the team members, show you the like the live recordings of the workshops and etc. And the next one is our Instagram account. We created our Instagram account just because we know that a majority of the teens and young adults usually spend a good portion of their time on social media. So we wanted to create a social media presence, and that is through Instagram. And we pretty much update posts weekly and maintain a consistent active social media presence. And within a span of 1 year, we were able to establish a following of over 700 followers and active followers who regularly, you know, update us with the likes and posts and viewing our stories and etc. And for our summer workshops, in which we had this last year, this is an example of our schedule. So we had a workshop every week on Wednesday. And so the first one was how to pay taxes. Second one was talking about FAFSA and student aid scholarships. And we also had a guest speaker. And then we had the basics of like buying a house, a car, everything you need to know before making a big purchase. And then we also had another guest speaker and a finance chit chat. And with the summer workshops, we pretty much gained a lot of success with having over 130 participants over 9 sessions. And a majority of our workshops were recorded and posted on the website just in case we had a portion of the audience who wanted to rewatch it again, or teens who missed out on the workshop but wanted to have access to it later. And my goal for the workshops is to not only spread information and resources to other teens, but have the teens presenting, do their own research and educate themselves. So it wasn't only the audience that was learning about finance, but it was our teams and our volunteers within the project who are also learning as well when they were doing their own research to present to the other teams. So here is some examples of the presentations that we provided for the workshops. The first one is budgeting, how to build credit, buying a house, and paying your taxes. And how did the Financial Freedom Project and the Teens Leading Change come about? So it came about with the success of the workshops. As I mentioned, we had over 130 teens come to the 9 sessions. And with that success, Tatiana, which is the library coordinator I worked with to create the project itself, she encouraged us to apply for the Teens Leading Change application. And once we applied, we got approved. And then from then, the library coordinators, Tatiana and Irma, helped us establish how we're going to go on about with the cooperation and the support from the Teens Leading Change and developing new projects and etc. So the current active teams we have right now include the social media, in which they handle the Instagram account, creating posts on a bi-weekly, weekly schedule. And then we have our book. So one of our biggest goals within the Financial Freedom Project was to share knowledge about finance, not only to teens, but to pretty much all age demographics. So that can include parents and even young adults. And we believe that, learning about finance should not just begin in high school, but it should begin as early as possible, because some of the skills learned now carry on with us later on as adults and pretty much throughout the rest of our lives. So we wanted to create ebooks that are targeted towards young kids. So as of now, we are working, it's a work in progress. So we plan to release 4 ebooks with the topics of saving, budgeting, entrepreneurship, and needs versus wants. And then the last one is the library programs. Because we had so much success last summer, we wanted to create a round 2 of workshops for parents this summer. And right now we already have a couple of ongoing workshops that were pretty successful. The first one was correlation between income and education, financial planning for the future, and options to pay for college and community college. And that one we're going to have on May 11th. And the last workshop we had last week, we actually had a guest speaker from UCLA. So that's really exciting. And for the future plans, we want to, establish a podcast launch. And thanks to Teens Leading Change, we were able to get some of the budget and purchase the equipment for the podcast. So it is also, again, a work in progress, but we're planning and we're hoping to release the first episode in the next month or so. And with the social media account, our Instagram account, we want to grow our social media presence. And that includes, gaining more followers, getting more active on Instagram, and maybe collaborating with a couple of other teen organizations in the Valley online. And the third one is to initiate more in-person workshops in the Valley. I know because of the pandemic, we are so used to having workshops online, but I think it would definitely be a cool experience if we were to have a couple of workshops in the Valley and in other parts of LA. And then to close off the presentation, I just wanted to share a quote. So a small idea can turn into a huge initiative when you have the right support from the right people and a team excited to be a part of the positive change. And I would just like to say that the Financial Freedom Project would not be possible at all if it weren't for the help and support from Tatiana and Irma and the wonderful people behind Teens Leading Change. And of course, all the willing and excited volunteers in the Valley who are so excited to spread knowledge, to educate themselves, and to be a part of the growing change. Thank you so much for listening.
Woohoo! Thank you, Lena, so much for that great presentation, and for all of the other teams and participants who worked on the Financial Freedom Project, and of course to the facilitators, Tatiana and Irma, and of course the shout out to Jessica Levy, who isn't able to attend today, but who was a facilitator for the Palisades project, and to Teresa Mons, who is filling in for Jessica, since Jessica, the word on the street is Jessica is in Italy right now, so that with the time change she couldn't come. But yes, thank you so much, Lena and team. Next up, we have the Durant and Pico Koreatown branch project presentation featuring Javier, Daniti, and Sakunet. And take it away. They're going to be talking about neighborhood beautification. And yes, we can see it. Yay. Shout out to all of the teams who not only are participating in this cycle, but participated in cycle 5. I recognize your names, and thanks for giving your time, sharing your time with the Librarian game.
Sorry. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sakuri Silong. And I'm Dimitri Chatsworth.
And today we're going to talk about Beautification Project, Los Angeles Public Library, Teens Leading Change, and Hollywood High School Matter with Purpose Club. Content. So today we are going to talk about introduction, summary, impact, and our next step for our project. Introduction. Who we are. We are a student at Hollywood High School, and we are part of the Matter with Purpose Club. My name is Candice, and I'm the president of the club. And we have Beautification here with us today, and she is a volunteer coordinator. And unfortunately, our vice president, Javier Gomez, he couldn't make it today, but we're going to continue with our presentation. So Matter with Purpose Club is an advocacy club here at Hollywood High School. We work with several organizations. And for example, as you can see in the picture, we organize a toy drive event at our school, and we donate toys to Children's Hospital. We also work with Gravity Water, which help provide safe and clean water for our sister school in Vietnam. And let's move on to the next slide. Hollywood community. We come from a diverse community, but we noticed that our community is currently have a few problems that make it feel less safe. For example, trash and traffic pollution and lack of green space in less affluent neighborhoods. We noticed that we have this problem, and we have come up with a solution to provide a safer community for all. Why beautification? We choose to do a beautification because we want to create a safer community in which everyone has access to clean street and community garden. Project summary. Through research, brainstorm, planning, in our club weekly meeting and discussion, we have come up with a solution to help provide a safer and lively community for all. We have come up with a campus cleanup event at Hollywood High School, and we have come up with a street cleanup event around our campus, which is Highland Avenue and Sunset Boulevard. Highland Boulevard and Sunset. Our plan. We plan to create more public cleanup events, such as a beach cleanup, a park cleanup, and more street cleanup. We also plan to do a community garden, which we hope to make it an educational place through our fact and information sign and provide beauty for our community.
So what we learned through TLC. We worked on multiple projects, and in this process, we have built a community at our school that we have formed connections as we work together. We all have developed new skills, discovering new passions, and gaining new insight about our community around us and as well within ourselves. Because as we are showing interest at bettering our community, it can mean from learning about the community organizations as well as learning more about yourself. In particular, students find that they are able to develop skills in leadership, communication, working well with the team, and finding solutions for problems. Also, many students find that community service makes them more aware of and interested in issues of social justice. And therefore, we're able to create a purpose through our work ethic and teamwork through these kind of projects, working with TLC. Impact of the project. Next slide. Thank you. So the impact we hope to make through this project is, as you know, the LA community is not the nicest place that would hold up to its reputation, but the community garden that we will create will build a cleaner environment as well as a sense of care through community pride. Because community gardens allow for the creation of social ties and build a greater feeling of community. The garden will allow for the connections that will help reduce crime, empower residents, and allow residents to feel safe in their neighborhoods. And given the fact that our community is a crowded tourist attraction, it offers a sustainable form of tourism development. Also, community gardens help promote social health and community cohesion. Working on this project, we hope to influence other teens to create positive change and bring more curiosity to the library about urban gardening. The next steps. So what's next, or where are we going with this project long term? Long term, through this project, we want our community to take responsibility and come together to find solutions that will benefit the community. And for this purpose, we've come up with the idea that we want to work creating a future farmers market that will provide people with fresh produce from our community garden that would overall benefit all of us as a community. And our to be answered questions, we would like to continue to research on how the government help with beautification and community events, which we work on cleaning, and as well about the community inclusivity overall.
And that concludes our project and our presentation. Thank you so much for your time and attention. We encourage you to join us for our next upcoming event for our community garden. And do you have any questions?
Thank you. Y'all did a great job. And it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
And thank you once again for participating in both this year's project and last year's project as well. So great. And it's so great that you're continuing with the neighborhood cleanups. So yeah. Absolutely. I echo all of the wonderful sentiments in the chat about the amazing work that everyone is doing. So next up, actually, we're going to go hear from the Echo Park and Silverlake Teens Leading Change participants, featuring Ingrid and Mattia.
Hi, my name is Mattia.
And my name is Ingrid.
And we are part of the Echo Park and Silverlake Teen Creativity Corner TLC group with a focus on the housing crisis. And first, we will further introduce ourselves. So our TLC group is made up of 6 teenagers from both the Echo Park and Silverlake branches: Garrett, Ray, Giesel, Ingrid, Malia, and myself. We also have our amazing and brilliant Echo Park and Silverlake librarians, Miss Ray and Danica. So our inspiration for this project comes from observing homelessness and its impacts on our own communities, like, for example, the fencing around Echo Park Lake and the forced movement of encampments near our schools. And these are only some of the things that made us want to have a better understanding of the LA housing crisis and the many aspects of it. Next slide. So the housing crisis is exactly that, a crisis. According to the Lasha homeless count held in 2019, LA County had almost 59,000 people experiencing homelessness, and the city had more than 36,000. Comparatively, in 2020, there were over 66,000 people experiencing homelessness in LA County and over 41,000 in this city alone. To translate this into percentages, the county's unhoused population increased by 12.7% in the county and 14.2% in the city in 2020. So for this slide, we are focusing on our very own community of Council District 13, or Silverlake, which is the district for the Silverlake Branch Library. There are hundreds of children in all different kinds of households and backgrounds and situations who are experiencing homelessness. Yeah. Furthermore, we have a slide showing the statistics of Council District 1, which is the district for the Echo Park branch. It further exemplifies the story shown in the previous slide of the ever-increasing population of unsheltered youth.
So to begin learning about this issue, we started with research. We researched legislation and the political atmosphere regarding the housing crisis by exploring Los Angeles mayoral candidates, as well as relevant legislation like Municipal Code Section 4118. We also identified the appropriate and accurate terms to use to address those experiencing homelessness in this crisis. Language is sometimes an overlooked aspect, and we've learned that using the word homeless, while a quick and easy word to use, can be considered harmful when the person who uses it is not experiencing homelessness themselves. When we say someone is homeless, we use it as an adjective that acts as their permanent defining quality. However, those affected by the housing crisis are much more than that. They're parents, students, workers, but above all, they're people. Additionally, the word home in the English language often does not define a physical place, but rather a spiritual concept. So phrases like experiencing homelessness and unhoused are considered more appropriate. In addition, we researched the historical causes and tendencies of homelessness in Los Angeles, including the history of Skid Row and more broadly, the several underlying and intersecting experiences that those who are unhoused often face. These are things like poverty, racial inequalities, homophobia and transphobia, domestic abuse, not enough support for having a disability, struggles with substance use, and mental health issues. We also explored bureaucratic organizations that focus on addressing the housing crisis like LAHSA and what the extent of their services are. With all of this, our largest point of research was finding the gaps in current funding, projects, and organizational structures that affect those who are unhoused. This research helped us establish our goals of learning about the housing crisis in our neighborhoods, exploring the many aspects of homelessness, as well as how we as teens can make a meaningful impact. After many brainstorming sessions, we were able to narrow down our project to providing youth who do not have secure housing with opportunities for self-expression and creativity. To follow our project goals, we met with those who have experience in the crisis. They all inspired our focus on housing insecure teenagers in our communities, and we are in the process of hosting 2 teen art programs with free art kits and resources, the first of which was last Saturday. One of the people that we met with who has experience in the housing crisis is Ethan Ward. Ethan is a journalist with the LAist who is covering the housing crisis in the city of Los Angeles. He taught us many things about the complexity of the issue as well as the gaps in current legislation. The biggest takeaway we got was that there are many needed services which aren't being provided, and that inspired us to return to our research and determined what we could do to fulfill those needs. We also met with Painted Brain, a nonprofit organization that provides art solutions to support those who struggle with mental health, including those without stable housing. We learned about the positive roles that community and art play while dealing with emotions and other challenges, like trauma, mental illness, and experiencing homelessness. The last person that we met with was Chloe Zitzow, the founder of a teen-led housing assistance group with focus on furniture poverty called the Hermit Crab Society. She provided us with the encouragement we needed in our process to find an area of the crisis we wanted to focus on for our project. This leads us to our art programs, which we named Teen Creativity Corner.
So our goal with the art programs we created is to create a safe, collaborative, and relaxing environment for teens. Our programs include free art kits, group collaborative art time, and individual art time as well as opportunities to reflect upon the art we created and the emotions that facilitated our process in creating it. We also provided lots of free snacks, meals, and drinks. And the photos to the right on this slide are from our first Teen Creativity Corner at the Silverlake Library. And as for the art kits we created, They come in 3 varieties: pen and marker, watercolor, and sketching pencils. So we ensure that our kits included high quality and easy to use materials. And we also added a pamphlet inside the kits containing helpful resources, both for people who are experiencing homelessness and those who want to help those people. On the right, we have some photos of us putting together the art kits a few weeks ago. Some of them include our meeting with Ethan Ward, who very kindly offered to write an article as well as a radio piece for the LAist and KPCC radio. So this is the pamphlet we created, which features some art that I drew. It includes the need help and want help sections of it, as I mentioned, with 2 pages each. And we also created a link tree for direct links that correspond to the information we documented in the pamphlet, accessed by the QR code below.
The need help sections include organizations that provide direct assistance, and the want to help sections include organizations that offer volunteer opportunities, as well as a list of indirect actions which those who are interested can do. Our next Teen Creativity Corner art program will be hosted on May 14th at the Echo Park Branch Library from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Although the program has a large focus on teens who are experiencing homelessness, all teens are welcome to attend. Once we're completely finished with the Echo Park program, we will be delivering all of our leftover supplies to My Friend's Place, an organization that offers extensive support focused on self-sufficiency for youth experiencing homelessness.
For more information, you can contact our librarians through email, or you can check out the Echo Park and Silverlake Library Instagram accounts for updates on our upcoming art program.
By scanning the QR code on the left, you can see the flyer for our next program. And by scanning the QR code on the right, you can also see the link tree with all of the resources we curated and a digital version of our pamphlet. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mattia and Ingrid, and of course, sorry. Thank you so much also to the wonderful rest of your team who worked on this amazing project, and of course to your project facilitators, Ray and Danica. Woo! All right. Gosh, this is such an inspiring morning. Y'all are doing such a wonderful work. So next up, we're gonna hear from the Chatsworth project TLC participants, featuring Ariana, Casey, and Hayang. Take it away.
Hi, and welcome to our presentation. We are Chatsworth Library's SoCal readers. Next slide. So here's an introduction. Our team consists of 11 teen volunteers from a variety of schools throughout the San Fernando Valley, along with our young adult librarian, Hope Katzman, who has acted as a mentor and guide through this process. Chatsworth's library community is a safe space for individuals of all ages to pursue their interest in reading. It's an inviting environment with decorations, plenty of space, and a courtyard that encourages people to visit. Plenty of fun events are held and advertised for the community to attend. Next slide. So this is our topic for our project. Our aim is supporting children who struggle with reading due to learning disabilities. It is known that 1 out of 5 children in the US struggle with learning or attention issues such as dyslexia, ADHD, and autism. These students may encourage hardships that stop them from finding enjoyment in reading. Many of the members of our team have a strong enjoyment for reading and wanting to make a difference in the lives of these kids, others in our community, family, friends, by helping them find joys in reading as well. Next slide. So here's some background. Reading and literacy is an essential everyday life skill. This process is not as simple as some may think, especially for those learning and reading disabilities. Prior to starting our project, we wanted to educate ourselves on how to work with and improve learning skills in young kids. So we learned from meetings with professionals from organizations such as the Help Group and the International Dyslexia Association, how to improve young children's reading skills. We learned how to connect with kids by learning about their interests and having patience when they get frustrated. Next slide.
So through our research, and we also learned the importance of spreading awareness and providing resources for parents. In order to do so, we created a parent resource flyer where parents could refer to and gain information and insight to help their children who may struggle with some of these learning disabilities. In partnership with the International Dyslexia Association, we also hosted a Zoom event, including a simulation of what it's like to have dyslexia in order for teachers, parents, and other people just to learn about how they can support people who may struggle with reading. Next slide, please. So every Saturday in March from 1 to 2 p.m., we held one-on-one reading sessions with young children. In these events, each child was paired with one of our teen volunteers, where parents filled out a get to know you form, which we learned about the interests of the kids here and any reading or learning disabilities that they may have. Then we selected books based off of the kids' interests that we learned from the form or from talking to the kids. Finally, we went outside and read together in the library's courtyard. The goal of these sessions were to find books that the kids enjoyed and to encourage them to come back to the library to check out more books. Next slide. Here are some pictures from the event. As you can tell, we had one-on-one reading with each of the kids. Outside, we set up tables for kids to read with us. Next slide. Here are some more pictures. As you can see in the picture on the right, we also had some giveaway bags with free books and small prizes that we gave to the kids at the end of the event to encourage them to come back. Next slide. Here's a picture of the information form that I spoke about earlier in the middle picture. And on the right, we also have a closer up picture of the giveaway bags. Next slide. Here are some more pictures. On the left, you can see we had quite a big crowd of parents and children come to read with us for all 4 sessions we did have. And then on the right, we had pictures at the end of the event where we did give away the bags for the kids.
Thank you so much.
Next slide.
Here are some impacts of our project. Young children were able to find a passion for reading, and by participating in small discussions and filling out reading maps along the way, they learned that reading didn't always have to be boring or difficult, and children grew a love for coming to the library and were excited to read with their mentors every week. With one-on-one help from teen volunteers, children were able to better enhance their vocabulary and reading skills overall. Next slide, please. Some responses to the program were that the community response was very positive and supportive. Parent responses and feedback included that teen volunteer was a good listener and very responsive to my child's interests as well as his personality. It's important to have non-family members encouraging reading exploration in new ways. And I found the volunteers in the program were a welcome addition to his reading habits. Another one included that the teen volunteer was so kind and caring towards my girls, especially my daughter who struggles with dyslexia. Next slide, please. What have we learned? Through this project, we have learned to work with children who have reading disabilities through various small activities. We learned how to be patient and interact properly with younger children, and also learned how to be more enthusiastic when reading and create various activities throughout our session to keep them engaged. We also learned how to work together as a team to plan a whole project, execute it, and reflect on the project as a whole. Members learned to create ask letters to present to larger organizations for expert help. Partaking in informational meetings with professionals allowed us to have a better idea of how to approach needs and struggles with reading. Lastly, we also learned how to create plans and vision boards for each session, especially when we were preparing gift bags, how to set up and clean up, and trying to advertise for publicity.
The program will continue with one event each month, likely the first Saturday of every month. Prospectively, we would hold these meetings inside now, but they may be outside with reading circles, with TLC volunteers, or partnering a year with a reader. Young readers can participate in small reading games beforehand to work on their vocabulary skills. We are looking forward to being able to connect children and share the admiration for reading and books through these events hosted once a month. Next.
What we are looking forward to. So in the future, we look forward to continue to help young readers by building their reading skills, challenging them each time with credit books to strengthen their vocabulary, and to encourage them to find joy in reading. We also are looking forward to further building on how to engage with younger readers and gaining more insight about different learning disabilities that children may have. Next slide.
You can learn more about how to help children with learning disabilities by visiting these websites and resources. And don't forget to check out Chatsworth Library's Instagram for updates on programming and events. Next slide, please. Thank you so much for your time today, and we hope you found this presentation informative and inspiring. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you so much, Ariana, Casey, and Hayoung. That was wonderful. And we're so excited that you will be continuing with this project. And next up, we have our the Chinatown project presentation featuring Malia and Bilan.
You know how to unmute yourself?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Malia Mahalona Janalkarn.
And hi, my name is Bilan, and we're both part of the Chinatown Teens Leading Change group. And today we'll be presenting on our food insecurity project. Next slide.
So here's our table of contents for the day. We will be presenting an introduction of who we are, a summary of our project, the impact we've had and hope to achieve, as well as our next steps. Next slide, please.
Yeah, so first let's start with introductions. So we're a group of 16 teens plus our wonderful librarian, Miss Lynn, and here's the list of all the members and their roles. Next slide.
And here's a photo of part of our community in Chinatown. This was taken inside the building of Cafe Manor, a senior apartment complex with many low-income seniors who are living there. There's been a history of dysfunctional elevators, doors, plumbing, and other issues in that building. So the seniors struggle with going out to run errands, including grocery runs. So to help, a couple of TLC and Teen Council members from the Chinatown branch helped out at a grocery distribution where we carried bags of groceries up and down a total of 16 floors. But good news, the elevators have just recently been fixed. Next slide, please. So after helping at Cafe Manor, we walked along the streets of Chinatown and encountered many street vendors who sold produce and other food as a source of income. Many people rely on them to obtain produce, However, they are often non-refrigerated and overpriced. Next slide, please.
Yeah, so as you can see, food insecurity is a huge issue in our neighborhood. And to expand further on why we chose this topic, the closing of the last Asian grocery store, which is called Iowa Market, and that was like a very like popular Asian grocery store in LA Chinatown. And since the closing, the community has struggled to get access to fresh and affordable produce. And we want to help our community get that access. Next slide.
So let's move on to a summary of what we've done so far. We started our project in early fall in December, where we initially came up with the idea of creating an accessible and affordable farmers market that would benefit both regular community members and local street vendors. Then, when the rise of the Omicron variant appeared in January, it disrupted our plans a lot. And so we decided that a farmers market was out of reach. So we had to refocus our project.
Yeah, so in February, after meeting with several community leaders, organizations such as SICA, CCED, and Gilcedillo's office, we decided to stick to the topic of food insecurity. And now in the spring to present, we've decided that we will create a food drive at the library that is open to any community members who needs food. Next slide.
So over the course of our project, we've done a lot of research together. Some of the things we learned about were gentrification and its effects on low-income communities, EBT cards and what they do. Change is very slow. We also learned about the differences between long-term and short-term impact in volunteer work. And also, we learned that projects like these take a lot of time and determination.
Yeah, so after learning so much about things related to our issue, here are some plans and updates on our project. So we have decided to hold a food drive, and our orders for storage units actually just recently arrived. And we'll be using our meeting room in the Chinatown Library to organize and build an outdoor shed to store our equipment. And we've been in contact with organizations and grocery stores to help us provide for food. In fact, we actually drafted like letters to the grocery stores and also to organizations to invite them to be our guest speakers and learn more about how to host or like run a food drive. Next.
So here's the impact that we hope to have on our community. By holding a food drive at the library, we hope to provide free food to anyone in our community who needs it. And additionally, we will guide people to library resources, provide connections from the API Forward Movement, which is a nonprofit organization that provides support to Asian and Pacific Islander communities, including healthy food access. And we're also going to encourage others to apply for CalFresh. Next slide, please.
Yeah, so to wrap up, let's go over our next steps for the project. So this month in May, we will organize the library meeting room and outside area to make the space to store the grocery donations that we'll get. And then in June, we hope to collaborate with Food Roots, which is an organization passionate about like food equity. And so that way we can learn more about like the logistics and the process of setting up a food distribution. And then in July, we hope to host our first food distribution event here in the Chinatown Library. And then from July and on, we hope to just reflect and improve for future food drives. So thank you everyone for taking the time to learn about our project on food insecurity.
And if you want to find out more, you can email our librarian, Ms. Lynn, or check out our library's Instagram, where we hope to post updates in the future. Thank you.
Woo, thank you so much, Malia and Delan and Lynn, our great facilitator, and of course, all of the many, many teams who helped with this project and all of the projects. Finally, last but certainly not least, the Robertson project presentation featuring Luce and Talia, excuse me.
So hi, my name is Liz Hernandez and I go to Hamilton High School.
Hi everyone, my name is Talia Kornswide and I'm a junior at Laces.
And we are members of the Robertson Teen Council, a group of over 37 students from 11 different schools. For this cycle of the Teens Leading Change program, we focused on targeting the school to prison pipeline. Even though our teen council members come from a variety of schools and backgrounds, we live in different parts of LA. We all have some level of first-hand familiarity with the school to prison pipeline. In the early stages of our organization for this project, we all identified that this is a truly widespread issue that manifests in some capacity in all of our schools.
Over 2 cycles between 2020 and 2022, our council has conferred every Sunday and touched on various aspects of our communities that we wanted to focus our attention on and together implement change. We're all students in high school, so our school communities called our attention the most. After organizing group discussions and interviews with educators, administrators, and activists, we began to familiarize ourselves with the school to prison. The Teens Leading Change program granted us the opportunity to learn from experts in this field and eventually organize a civic action project of our own.
Over this past cycle of the Teens Leading Change program, we have focused our efforts on the production of a documentary film about the intricacies of the school to prison pipeline. We have interviewed students, teachers, advocates, and activists, as well as representatives from organizations such as the Community Coalition, Breezy Foundation, and Project Knucklehead. Our goal was to gather a variety of perspectives to expose how the pipeline affects our immediate community and outline a course of action that viewers can take to combat the issues that contribute to the school to prison pipeline. Currently, our editor, Ralph Jimenez, is working on editing our film, but we have put together a short sample to give you a sense of what to expect.
The school to prison pipeline. What is it?
What is your definition of a school to prison pipeline?
Have you ever heard of the school to prison pipeline before?
You could think of it like policies and practices that like criminalize a student.
Our teen council explored this topic for the past year, and now we present to you this far-reaching yet seldom discussed phenomenon harming our education system year after year.
Our choice to produce a documentary film project was fueled by our goal to expand the awareness of our library and school communities in regard to injustices surrounding education. The interviews and research featured in our film will inform people about the school to prison pipeline and its implications. We aim to bring positive change to our school system and its policies through educating our peers, prompting them to identify and confront the issues we've highlighted in the film. Through our production of this civic action project, our library community has collectively learned a lot about injustices facing education. We all strive to confront negative attitudes towards minorities and implement equal opportunities in education, regardless of socioeconomic status. Though this was challenging, as for many of us, it was our first film project, our collaboration with one another taught us that in order to make schools the equitable institutions they should be, we must target and eliminate bias and replace punishments like suspension and expulsion with restorative justice approaches.
I think, there we go. Okay, our council aims to create broader pathways to benefit our school communities beyond the school to prison pipeline. Educational seminars are one way to inform staff on how best to meet students' needs and cultivate growth-oriented environments. Also, we hope to inform our peers of this documentary film that we have collaborated on. The film should be done next month, and we're looking forward to sharing it with everyone. We would like it to see more we would like to see more student-oriented infrastructures in schools, especially for marginalized communities that are disproportionately targeted by the school to prison pipeline. Through our research, we have identified that restorative justice is just one program or just one way that should be incorporated into school communities to realize this vision.
Before we finish, we implore you to consider some of the questions we've been asking ourselves throughout this process. What would the ideal school look like, and what would need to happen to realize this vision? We invite you to share your ideas in the chat. Thank you all for your time, and thank you for supporting our Civic Action Project.
Woohoo! Thank you so much, Talia and Luz and the Robertson team who put all of this together, including Dawn, the project facilitator. Thank you, everybody. Are there any questions? And yes, go TLC for sure. I'm going to be looking in the chat to see if I didn't see any questions earlier, but yes, everyone did a fantastic job. But if you have any questions now, feel free to ask each other, because they were such amazing projects that were completed. And also please stick around, because after the Q&A session, we're going to try to do pictures of each team. So I know some people probably had to go, but and pictures by, I mean like screen grabs. Yeah, there's so much amazing work that everyone has done. Okay, well, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But I think in the meantime, as people are sort of processing, why don't we go ahead and try to do the pictures of each project team. So for the first one, that's Palisades. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight the Palisades folks. So all of the presenters are all of the presenters are co-hosts. So if you know who the other people were on your project, please feel free to highlight them or put a spotlight basically, so that we can take the picture. Well, the screen cap actually. Awesome.
No, that's all of us here.
Okay, and then should we also, I don't know if Teresa is still here. I know Jessica isn't. Okay, sorry. We're gonna do the screen cap right now. Oops. All right, I did the screen cap for that group. Thank you so much. All right, the next the next group is going to be the Angeles, Mesa, and Pico Union. Lena, do you have any colleagues here, or are you representing?
I think there's Chloe in the crowd. I'm not sure. Chloe Yu. She's part of my team, and Tatiana and Irma are here, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I'm gonna spotlight Tatiana and Irma as well. Oh, I can't spotlight because your camera is off. So Irma and Tatiana, if you could turn your cameras on so I can spotlight so we can take the photo, that would be great. Ooh, I like your hair. Did you get a haircut? Oh my God, it's so cute. Okay, sorry. And then Tatiana, I know that are you able to turn your camera on, or? I know that Tatiana is okay, you know what, I'm gonna do it a different way so that we can. Sorry, the technical difficulties. And then, oh, you said Casey, right? I don't, or who was the other person? If you see them, can you go ahead and pin them? Because I don't see them.
Is there a Chloe? Because
Oh,
I think
sorry,
I
Chloe.
Chloe. I'm not sure if she's still here or not.
I don't think so. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take the picture though. Are you ready? All right. Okay, done. Thank you so much. And congratulations on your amazing project.
Thank you so much.
All right, so next we have the Durant and Pico Koreatown project presentation. I see Oscar. I'm going to pin Oscar. I'm gonna pin yay. Daniti and Saknet. Let's see. And if you want to pin anyone else who was part of your project, feel free. Or is there anyone else I should be looking out for? Or is this your group for this morning?
Yeah, I think this is our group.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going. Yay. It's okay. We're all proud of everyone. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Hooray. All right, cool. Thank you. I don't know if you know, but we are actually going to be revamping the Teens Leading Change website. So that's part of the reason why we're trying to capture everyone's photos. So next up, Echo Park and Silverlake. Ingrid and Mattia and Ray and Danica.
Malia is here.
Malia.
I think
Oh,
I
and
see
yes, Malia too.
Giselle was here, but I don't see her right now. Mattia, can you turn on your camera?
Giselle had to leave.
There he is.
Yay. Okay, sorry. And if you have co-host, I think if you have co-host privileges, you're welcome to help pin your colleagues. I think you're able to do that. I'm looking for. Sorry for how long this is taking. Okay, yay, all right. So that's everyone, yes? Who's here from your teams right now? Okay. So
we have like 5 people.
Is there anyone else from your group? Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Yay. Okay. I got you. Thank you so much. I feel like a school photo person. Okay, so next up there's the Chatsworth folks, Ariana, Casey, Hyun, and Hope. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Is there anyone else who is part of your group who is here?
I think charisma.
So we have people that are here supporting us, but we're not presenting. So charisma.
Was there anyone else who?
I don't see Ariana. She may have had to leave, so.
Okay, that's okay. It's Saturday, people have other things.
Yeah.
Okay, going on, that's all right too. Okay, so ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna take your photo now. Hooray, thank you. All right, and then Chinatown with Miss Lynn, Malia, and Balan, and oh, y'all ready? Like just gonna do it, okay? Is there anyone else from your crew or? Okay, all right. Ready? 3, 2, 1, yes. Where's the boba? Okay, awesome. Did it. Right on, thank you. All right, and then last but certainly not least, Robertson with Dawn and crew. Dawn, Luce.
We have one of the team, Mia, but she's not able to get on camera right now. So I think it's just Luce and Tom are representing.
Do you want me to have the square for? I can pin the square without the photo.
I'll leave that up to Mia. Do you want in on this, Mia?
I'm just looking for Mia's. Oh, I see Mia. M, the mighty M. Okay, so let's see. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Yay! Okay, right on. All right, not sorry that I made everyone take photos. That's in real life. If we were doing this in person, there would also be photos. But so yes, thank you so much everybody for coming, for presenting, for working on this, for staying and taking the pictures. We have a super exciting announcement actually, which is the announcement of the 3 inaugural winners of the Teens Leading Change Library Leadership Award. Woo! Okay, so are you ready to hear who those winners are? There were so many great applications. I want you to know this is the first time that we're doing this award, and there were 24 applications. So it was really challenging for the committee to narrow it down because you are all so amazing. But the three winners this year of the inaugural Teens Leading Change Library Leadership Award are Luz Hernandez, woo! Sakunet Shulam, woo! And Fiona Herzog. Let's give them, I'm gonna pin you now, sorry, not sorry. Let's see if I can find you. So don't leave before I spotlight your wonderful selves. So woo, Sakunet! And then Lou. Woohoo! And Fiona. I'm like, where's Fiona? Sorry, I don't know if Fiona had to go. I don't see.
She's here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here, my spot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a little harder when it's, okay. Woo! Our 3 winners, give them a round of applause, everyone. And I'm gonna take a picture of you, sorry. I'm being the Asian auntie that I am, y'all. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yay, fabulous. Okay, so now I'm going, so congratulations. And just so you know, so it's going to be, and we'll contact you later with the actual, it is going to be an actual award designed by Anders Vialta, who is our intern and an artist. So you'll be receiving that as well as some funding as well that goes along with that award. So it'll be a physical award as well as cash money. So that's super exciting. Also, just to let you all know, the TLC projects will continue until May 31st. So as you've heard, there's many projects that have programs that are going to be continuing through May. So be sure to check those out. They're going to be hosting those either online or in person. And also please go ahead and talk to your local YA librarian about planning a program and how to get involved in Cycle 7, which will start in fall 2023. To sign up for more information about our next cycle, please go to www.lapl.org/teens/TLC, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. So if you've been as inspired as so many of us have this morning with the great work that everyone's been doing, and you have something cool that you want to work on and want others to work on in your community, just go to www.lapl.org/teens/TLC, which we all know stands for Teens Leading Change and Providing Tender Loving Care for the Community. You can sign up. If you put your email address in there, then we will contact you when Cycle 7 begins. So without further ado, thank you so much for coming to this program. Thank you to you all. Thank you to the Library Foundation, and congratulations again for such a fabulous job. Well done. And especially congratulations to the inaugural winners of the Teens Leading Change Library Leadership Awards this year. Woohoo! Yay! All right, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you later. YA librarians, just an FYI too, and many thanks to Dr. Espinoza for her support. There will be an information session for the YA librarians in May to find out how you can host one of these fabulous programs with your fabulous teens next cycle. All right, take care everybody, bye.